Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future. I'm your host, Calabucas, and once again, we're coming at July from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, the future. Not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can get a notification whenever a new video drops 6 times a week. And if you're on a podcast service, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a review on Apple Podcast. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, some people say that thinking about the future is hard. It's very difficult to figure out where things are going to go. Yeah, because obviously, if it was an easy thing to do, everybody would do it, and we'd be able to figure it out. And the scenarios and the plans and the strategies that we build for these futures won't necessarily pan out. If you're going to say to me, hey, Calabucas, I want to know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. No, I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen on the exact date. I will tell you that everything that is going to happen will happen unless it's physically impossible. So, will there be an AI which is so close to sentience we will think of it as sentient? Yes, there will be. Will we have devices that listen to everything that we do, everything that we say, everything that we track, and automatically deliver us groceries, automatically help us figure out which direction to go in, automatically tell us when we need to leave for an appointment? Will we have devices that will make our lives immeasurably simpler? Yes, that's going to happen. Will we have virtual assistants who will work with us against the corporate virtual assistants, who will negotiate with the corporate virtual assistants? Yes, that will happen. All of these things will happen. Will we solve these diseases? Will we solve hunger? Yes, all these things will happen. Will we reduce greenhouse gases? Will we have a more sustainable planet? Yes, all these things are going to happen. You have to factor in human ingenuity, and I talked about that last week. So it's almost impossible to figure out what the future holds. But you can throw a few things in there and say, well, we can assume that human beings will continue to use their inventive powers, their big brains, to figure out some of the biggest problems of the day. So that's why I'm optimistic. That's why I'm the optimistic futurist. You see, I see all these problems that people are pulling out, but I also see solutions for all these problems that people are bringing forward. The solutions are there. We just have to apply ourselves to them. We can do this. We have the capacity to do this. And if we don't have the capacity to do this, we can build AIs that will have the capacity to do this. In fact, one of the things about climate change, I'm thinking, is that maybe we should just get an AI or a bunch of AIs together and have them figure it out. Without them turning into Skynet and killing us all, of course. But we are seeing so much progress in so many different ways to try and attack all these plagues. I'm talking about electronic, technological, social, all these plagues that are plaguing mankind, or humankind. All these plagues are solvable. Everything is solvable. Everything is solvable. So that's why when you're doing the strategic planning, when you're doing the futurism, when you're trying to blow out the scenarios to figure out where the future is going or what's going to happen, I already mentioned, don't ignore human ingenuity. Human ingenuity is going to go a long way to solving a lot of the problems that we have today. But the other thing you should understand is that you have to factor in surprises. You have to be ready for shocks. You have to be ready for major changes. You have to be ready for shock and awe. You have to be ready for things you never expected to happen. And you're saying probably right now, Calabucas, what are you talking about? How can I expect the unexpected? You can't. You obviously can't expect the unexpected. But what you can do is that when the unexpected comes at you, you can react to the unexpected in a specific way. You can either freak out, or you can say, okay, that happened. Now that that happened, what can I do to mitigate that if it's a negative thing, or what can I do to enhance that if it's a positive thing? You have to look at it in a more Zen-like way, that these things that are out of our control will occur. Many, many things are going to occur that are going to be a complete surprise to you. You'll never have thought that this thing will happen. Some people call them black swans if they're massive events. These massive events will occur. And the question is, how are you going to react to them? How are you going to react to these massive events that occur? So you have to plan that massive events, surprises, if you will occur. And when these surprises occur, you have to think to yourself, how am I going to deal with these surprises? Am I going to allow it to completely derail me? Well, in some cases it might. It depends on what the problem is. It depends on what it is that's happening. Say if you built something on top of an API which suddenly goes away, you might have to do something completely different. But the fact is that you have to factor in surprises. Surprises will occur because we cannot predict everything yet. I mean, maybe someday we'll have armies of AIs which will be able to predict everything, just like Doctor Strange did at the end of Endgame. Oh, there was only one solution for this. We don't have that yet. So we have to plan for surprises. Surprises may occur at any point in time, derailing our plans completely, but we have to be able to say, okay, that's fine, that happened, and go move beyond that. Figure out how to get beyond that. Mitigate that. The moment you know about it, because in a lot of cases you cannot mitigate something you have no idea is going to happen. If something suddenly happens, you may not be able to figure out how to solve it. But take it in stride, understand that it happened, figure out how to move forward, and then move forward. Surprises will happen, but don't be surprised by them. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.